Hi there everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to another day in my 2023 holiday card series, and welcome to the second video where Hey there everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I have another card using a non-holiday stamp as my focal image. Now, this one, this stamp set, I love it so much. If you guys remember a few years ago, I made an anti-Valentine's Day card because Clearly Besotted brought out this cute little angry cat. And if you didn't know, if you're new here, hi, leave me where you're from, subscribe, all the things. My cat Roxie has the best RBF resting face. So she looks like she's grumpy almost all the time, but she's the sweetest little baby ever. So when I saw the stamp set, I had to buy it almost immediately. And there was somebody, maybe you guys can help me find it. Last year, somebody released like a naughty kitty Christmas stamp, and I cannot find it. So if you remember who that was, or if you can recommend one, let me know, because love it, love it, love it. So we are building a scene. I am using, sorry about that. I am using, now I've lost my whole train of thought. Now I am using some Christmas along with these stamps, but the main focal point, or my main image of each card, is using a non-holiday stamp set, non-Christmas stamp set, I should say. So yeah, okay, so if you're new here, say hi, let me know where you're coming in from. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'm getting really close to 14,000. What else? Follow me on Instagram. Facebook groups are listed down below. Card kits, holiday card kits are listed down below as well. That's over in my Etsy shop. I think that's it. So yeah. So let's head over to the craft table and I'll walk you through how I made this really cute grumpy kitty card. Okay friends, as I mentioned in the intro, the holiday card kits are live. There is a video and I will have the Etsy shop linked in the description box down below. There are two different sizes of card kits. The first one gets you supplies to make 10 cards, 2 each of 5 designs. And then the large kit gives you the chance to make 20 cards, 2 each of 10 designs, or you can do 4 of one design. It's completely up to you. They do come in multiple, so you have to pick one that's going to be 2 different cards. All of that information is in that video, so I will have that link down below. Small kit is $35 shipped US. Large kit is $60 shipped US. So shipping's including all of that. You're going to get envelopes and paper and goodies, and all you need are scissors and adhesive. That's it. So if you're interested in trying card making, these types of kits I feel like are the perfect way to get started. That way you can decide if you even like putting a card together. So all the information linked down below. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you kind of my mistake. And then later I'll share with you a side-by-side. So I'm leaving it in. You guys know I like to craft in real life and show you when I mess up and get ink everywhere, etc. I do all of that in this video. So I wanted to create a scene with this cute little kitty cat on a rug, in front of a fireplace and a Christmas tree. Like that was what I had in my head. And if you are familiar with Clearly Besotted, she always makes like these little vignettes. So she'll have white all around it, but then she has like this little vignette of her scene. And I really wanted to emulate that. Here's the first problem. This kitty is drawn a little weird. So her feet are actually, or their feet are actually off to the side. So I feel like instead of standing up, this means that this kitty is being a loaf of bread. So I kind of stamped her crooked. Then I stamped the Christmas tree, cut a mask, put that down, because again, you want whatever you want to be in the forefront to be stamped first, and you kind of work your way backwards. So I'm stamping the rug, and then I'm going to stamp the fireplace. But my issue was there's no perspective here because everything is like right in the middle. And you'll see later when I pull off the masking film, this is Eclipse masking tape, by the way, that you can get on Amazon. Eclipse as in like a solar or a lunar eclipse. And it was just all like mumble jumbled together, and there wasn't really any separation. There wasn't really any depth. So I'm going to share with you how we're going to change that and go from there. So this is what it looked like after stamping, before I went in with the stencil. I really was going to use this, I think it's called a watercolor stencil from MFT. Kind of gives you some wavy lines. It looks a little bit more organic. We are going to end up using that, but I'm going to restamp this card. Okay, so I still want my kitty in the front. I still want her on a rug. I still want her in front of a fireplace, and I still want her in front of a Christmas tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring her down. You can see here, I'm going to have the fireplace behind her and then have the Christmas tree off to the side. So we're going to start with a cat, then we're going to do the Christmas tree, then we're going to do the rug, and we're going to do the fireplace. And as I go, I already had mask for a couple of them, but I had to cut a new mask for the fireplace. So here I messed up. Again, I want the tree in front of the fireplace behind her, and that's not going to work when I already stamped the fireplace. So here we go. This is the real one. This is the good one. This is how we need to do it. So once again, I'm going to put her in the middle. And again, she's kind of leaning to the side. So she may look a little crooked, but to me, she looks like she's fine. And I'm just washing off my stamps. This is from Tonic, I think. I honestly don't remember. Couldn't tell you. So I just wanted to make sure that all of this was going to line up. And since I've already stamped it, I was like, yep, cool. It's going to work. This is a piece of paper that measures 4.5 by 5.5. Nope, 4.25 by 5.5. It is Hammermill 100-pound cardstock. That's what I like to stamp on in Copic color. But a lot of people like the Express Blended. I've never tried that. I also heard it's kind of expensive. And the Hamilton is not Hamilton, Hammermill. I mean, I love Hamilton, but that's not what we're talking about. So you can see here, I stamped the tree, then I masked it. And now I'm going to stamp the fireplace and the rug together. And then they are also going to get masked. So altogether, this card was probably about 2.5 hours. If I didn't have to redo it twice, it wouldn't have taken me quite that long. But sometimes cards take time. And you guys, the finished product is, you guys would have to fight. If you want it, if you really, really want it, maybe I could be talked into it, but we'll have to wait and see. So I got a little smudge of ink because why not? So this is a Tombow sander, and you can it basically just sands the paper and it takes the ink spot away. So I decided to go all in, and I'm going to do the fireplace and everything. So you're probably wondering, Misty, what are you using? This is called a Stamparatus, and it's from Stampin' Up. It's their kind of stamp positioner, and it's my favorite. I love it. For the main reason why I love this is because one side is open. So if I want to stamp a slimline card and do something like this, I absolutely can. If you're using the Misty or something like that, you have to have a certain set of papers. You'd have to have the big one. You want to have the small one. So it can be a little, I don't know. I have the mini Misty and I use it. Actually, I'm going to use it in this video, but I prefer one that's open. So I think Avriel just did one that's open and you kind of turn it around. I don't know. This is the one I have. I like it. There you go. I broke one of the magnets. They keep clipping together. Like they are super duper strong and I hate it. Okay. For the fireplace, I stamped the log first and then masked it. And now I'm stamping the grate and the fire. And I'm going to mask the flame, but I'm not going to mask what is that? What did I just call that? The grate on the bottom, because it's not necessary. Okay. So here is when I decide to bring in that stencil. And again, I believe this is called a watercolor square. I think it's what these are called. You get so there's the middle and then there's the outer. And here I'm trying to decide if I want to do the rectangle or if I want to do the square. And I end up doing the more kind of square. If I were to do this again, I would not do this. I would skip this step with the stencil, I feel like if I'd built my scene a little bit differently, this may have worked, but you guys will have to let me know. Like, let me know what you think. Do you like it cut out? Because I'm going to cut it out. Do you like it? Like, do you like it? Do you like this card? Let me know. Okay. I'm doing some ink blending, and that's why I wanted to put a mask on everything. So my thought was this would be kind of like a golden glow around her because she's at the fireplace. And then I was like, oh, I need to make it a little darker. And then I went hog wild and I kind of just made it a little too dark. So if I were to redo this, and I didn't scan it, so I didn't redo it. If I were to redo this, I wouldn't blend like this. I'd kind of make it like she's on on that carpet and there's wood or something. I would make it more of like an inside scene with the wall and stuff rather than this kind of little vignette, because my issue with it is the tree is outside of it. And I'm like, I really didn't like the way it looked with the tree on the outside of it. So, and again, I normally don't make samples. I just kind of go with the flow, and sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. When I'm realizing that I want to add black to the inside of the fireplace, but I forgot to mask the fireplace again. So I got a little black on that kind of, I don't even know what that would be called, kind of the arch around it, and a little bit on the Christmas tree, but I was able to cover up both and it did okay. So here's the full reveal. I really, really like the way this looks minus the ink blending. Minus the ink blending for sure. So here's the one on the left. That's the new one. Here's the one on the right. You can see that it's much better now. So we're going to be coloring, or I'm going to be coloring. I mean, I don't have a mouse in my pocket or anything. For the brick, I'm starting with my darkest color, and I'm kind of doing an L on the left side. So like I'm putting it on the side and I'm putting it on the bottom. Brick is real easy. I actually did I do the brick one? I did a fireplace card several years ago. I think that was wood now that I think about it. But anyway, brick is really easy. This brick is, small. The main issue is trying to keep it out of the grout lines or whatever. I think I did a pretty good job. I didn't go over it with white because, listen, red will go everywhere. And if you get it on your marker, if you get it on your, if you can't color over it, is what I'm basically trying to say. Basically trying to say that. So I am a page turner. I turn my page, and that's why you see this moving around. This is the second color, and now I'm going in with the lightest color. And again, this isn't the forefront, but it's still a main part of this scene. So I still wanted it to look like it's finished and refined, etc. I am going to go over it in a couple of minutes with one of those ink blending tools that I used earlier to kind of take down that whiteness of the paper, of the grout. So yeah. Okay, now I'm going to bring in, I believe this is, I don't know, it's E38 or something. I just wanted to add some dark brown. Like I wanted the mantle to be brown, and I wanted that kind of arch to be brown because I'd gotten black on it. And I feel like I did a pretty good job. So if you are new to copic coloring, I highly suggest that you pick up the hex chart from Sandy Allnock. I think I pronounced that correctly. This chart, what she's done is she's basically put all of the copic colors together and kind of how they work together. Like even if you have a YR and a Y, they kind of still work together. A lot of them are the same. Like the BG's, 10 is basically the same as like G something or other. So it gives you an idea of colors that you can use rather than just doing like YG9, YG7, YG5. So it gives you an opportunity and gives you the kind of wherewithal to see what other markers will work together. So I wanted this to be more of a sprucey green, and I brought in that one color. I don't remember what it was, and it was too bright. So I went back and picked out a couple of YG, I think it's like YG 67, just something a bit more gray, a bit more like bluey gray green rather than that bright, vibrant green, because I didn't want that. I wanted this to look, I mean, not realistic, but kind of. And I'm just flicking the color to make it look like, you know, branches or whatever. So yeah. I don't know if I told you guys this. Maybe I did. I'm putting my Christmas tree up next weekend. I don't care what anybody says. I did say I want a white one. I may hold off on that, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm in the mood, and it's been a rough couple of months, and Christmas makes me happy, and I want to. So here I'm just bringing in a color that's similar to the color I put down to add a little bit of shadow under the tree. I also didn't mask it very well, and this tree is weird anyway. So I went ahead and added some color underneath it. So I couldn't decide what color I wanted to do the rug. I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I thought, oh, I'll do red, because a lot of Christmas trees are red, or Christmas tree skirts are red. And I was like, no, I don't want to do red. And then, because I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to mask this with the other part of the stencil, and I'm going to put color around it. I tried red, I tried brown. I was like, I don't want to put color around it either. And that's when I ended up cutting it out. So again, this card was a journey. So, but I really like what it looks like now. So I'm glad I trusted my gut and didn't put the red down, because I probably would have hated it. I would have hated it. So I'm going to peel that up, and then that's when I'm going to decide to just cut it out. I'm going to use my scissors and go on the line and then go around the tree. So the tree is still there and intact, and it's just part of this little vignette that I created. I feel like I still got the kind of look of what I was going for, but this card just turned out completely different than anticipated. So yeah, and then once I get done cutting it, I'm going to do some ink blending on the sides. Normally I would bring in a black marker when I cut something out, but I didn't want black and I didn't want a very harsh line. So I'm just using a blender pen, and I think this is pecan from Stamp Anything. Any kind of brown will do. That's the one I used. That was the dark color. So I thought I'd bring it and put it around. Being really careful not to get it on the rug or the kitty. So now we're going to get ready to do the kitty cat. Kitty cat. Roxie to bear kitty gatos. And so the color is going to get real weird. I don't know what it is. I have a new light and my camera just doesn't like it, and it gets way too bright. So I've turned it down a little bit in editing. So if it looks a little weird or the colors are off, that's why. It's because I wanted you to be able to see it. Instead of it just being this blinding white. And I tried turning down my lights. That didn't work. So I honestly don't know why it's doing that. And because it's not white. It has a little bit of white, but it's not white. You can see here I'm like playing with the lights. Can't get anything that I like. So yeah. Okay. So I decided on navy blue for this. And I think this is B39. I used B39, B37, and like B45, something like that, in that kind of left-hand corner on the hex chart. And I'm starting with the darkest blue around her, and then I'm going the rest of the way with kind of the lightest blue. I love the way this carpet turned out. You guys know that I mostly love color, or if you didn't, hi, I love color. My whole house is very colorful. We have one room in the house that is white, and that's our main bathroom. Then that's because the tile and the vanities are aqua, and I could not decide on a color. So I decided to go ahead, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do like with the rim, like that outer probably fringe or whatever. I'm not sure what the artist from Hello Bluebird was drawing, but I decided to go ahead and add this border in blue. And then in a minute, I'm going to bring in a gel pen, and I'm going to fill it in with gel pen anyway. So yeah, isn't she so cute? She's so cute just laying there. I have a couple of pictures of Roxie underneath our Christmas tree on the, under the tree on the skirt. If I can find one, I will insert it so you guys can see it. But Yeah, so she's going gray. I did some really easy coloring. Roxie is gray. She's got some white on her, but I just went ahead and did the whole cat in just warm grays. I think I started with WG4. I don't think I went too deep. And I'm just flicking up. For her ears, the inside of her ears, I used a little bit of R20 and then I went over it with WG00 because I wanted that hint of pink, but I wanted it to still be kind of muted. And then once we've colored her, I'm going to bring in, I think this is R24, R35 something. I just wanted a base coat because I'm going to be bringing in some glitter gel pens. I brought in the white because I did get a little bit of gray in one of her eyes, but I went ahead and I did that off camera later. So I'm bringing in some gel pens and I'm just trying to test which one I like. And I like this one. And I'm just basically just coloring in her cute little bow. If you're new here, hi, I love glitter and glimmer, and I almost always have something sparkly on a card during this time of year, or really any time of year. So yeah, while we're here and while I'm kind of doing this, let me know what you want to see next year. Like what would you like to see after the holiday card series? What would you like more of after the holiday card series? I'd love to know. I am going to start doing some beginner kind of stamping for newbies, Stampin' University videos soon. That way, because I know a lot of you are beginners and you want to get into it. And that's why I said card kits are really good about that. Next week is going to be a Doodlebug week, and I'm going to share with you some things that you can do without spending a whole lot of money. That's also going to come soon. So yeah. Okay. So last Friday's cards, I think I used this paper from Michaels, and you guys know I'm trying to use that paper, and I thought, you know what, this would go really well because it's got the green, the red, and the navy. So I'm just cutting down these scraps and building my little scene on top of it. I knew I wanted that navy word script paper, and I knew I wanted to add that velvet ribbon. So I basically made the same sketch or layout as I did in that stocking video. And this is something that you can do all the time. I'm just playing around and trying to see where I'm going to fit the sentiment. So I am using, I believe the stamp set's called So Merry from Papery Ink. And the sentiment is, it's the most wonderful time of the year. There is a little bitty text that says meh on the stamp set. And I was like, yeah, I want to use it. So this is just, I believe this is from MFT, this red. And then again, this is kind of how the layout is going in my head with the sentiment at the bottom. And I thought this is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of this adhered, and we're going to go from there. Cutting down some used paper. Again, trying not to waste anything. I'm trying my hardest. I couldn't decide on red or blue for the sentiment, and decided to go with blue since the ribbon is red. I'm just using some tape runner, trying to clean off my desk. That is an everyday kind of thing. Like I cleaned it off today. I'm going to do some filming after I do this voiceover. And it's like, oh my word, Misty, can you just clean up as you go? The answer to that is nah, I cannot. I can't do it. So I'm going to cut off this ribbon, and then I'm just going to adhere it with some washi tape. And then after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add some Scotch adhesive. You're going to want to pop this layer up because that velvet ribbon is pretty thick. So that's why I'm doing that. Sorry, I keep saying we. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It's been a weird week, okay? Okay. All right, so here we go. The card is done basically for the card base. For this little kitty catos, I'm going to go ahead and just add 2 layers of adhesive on each side. I left the middle without any adhesive. I'm just using foam squares from scrapbook adhesive. I know you can't see it, and I apologize. But I'm literally just stacking them on top of each other. And then that is going to give us the height that we need. And it will also kind of go straddle those layers. We are going to emboss the sentiment. I'm going to add an inside card layer. we're going to emboss the sentiment. So I've embossed several times. You need an anti-static bag. You can use a fabric sheet. You just need something to take the static off of the paper. Then you're going to stamp using either pigment ink or Versamark, ink. And then you just add your embossing powder on top, and then you melt it with a heat tool. Now, for this sentiment, I wanted to mark out the word wonderful because I want this to be a grumpy kitty kind of card. So this is a Versamarker. So it's basically a marker that has Versamark ink in it. And you can use, like if you have someone who has pretty handwriting, you can use it to emboss, etc. So I just put white embossing powder on it, and now I'm going to melt it. And then I am just going to trim it down. I didn't cut it out with a die or anything. I'm just going to trim it down. And I wanted to bring in, I didn't want white. I didn't want bright white. It felt like bright white would stand out too much. So I'm bringing in this kind of ivory color, and I'm bringing in that little sentiment that says meh. And then I'm going to cut it out with the world's smallest speech bubble. I'm telling you. So rather than dragging out the Misty, you can see just how tiny that stamp is. I just put it on a block, stamped it, and then put the little speech bubble, and I'm going to cut that out in my die cutter, and then I'm just going to trim out, like I said, I'm just going to trim out the sentiment. I pop that up a little bit, and we're going to put the sentiment on, and then this card is going to be done, except I'm going to add some rhinestones to the Christmas tree to make it look like it has ornaments on it. But yeah, this card was a journey, but this may be one of the most favorite cards I've ever made in my entire life of lives. Again, I may offer this up for sale. If you want it, you can email me. If not, I may end up just displaying it here in the craft room. So that's it, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at TheJollyFatElf. I am super close to 14K. And once we get there, we will definitely have a giveaway. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. I hope you have a good day, night, week, wherever you are. I love your faces. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.